Hello, Eto. How are you?
Good. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. To start with, the information space is really more and more difficult. It's becoming more and more difficult because with all this new data, it's really hard to distinguish between good information and bad information. And as we're entering, and also as we are also in digital space, and as we're entering more and more complicated digital space, it's like we're one click away from getting fake news, and not only about the pandemics, but about every single topic that is around us. I just wanted to show you quickly in which kind of information environment we are living. Just two quick observations. It's actually from the research from 2019 that organized, as we all are living on social media actually, the organized social media manipulation has more than doubled since 2017, and it's scary. And countries are using computational propaganda manipulation to manipulate the public opinion. And the second biggest observation that was in this research is that Facebook remains the platform of choice for social media manipulation. And as you all know, the majority of our citizens in Georgia, in Moldova, and in many countries are present on Facebook. So Facebook is becoming more difficult to handle. So what we're doing, DFR Lab is one of the centers of Atlantic Council, and our mission is to identify, expose, and explain disinformation using open source. And what is open source data? Basically, it's very easy thing. Everything that one can find in Google. It's images, it's satellite imagery, it's social media, like everything that one can find in Google. And we use only open source data because it's highly accessible and everybody can analyze that. So we're doing many different things, but today I'll be talking about narratives. How do we analyze narratives? And one of the interesting narratives that we were observing that information space around was infodemic. And the infodemic is very interesting term. It was used in February 2020, actually a couple of months ago, by World Health Organization, and this term refers to mostly false information about COVID-19 outbreak. Because the COVID-19 is a global pandemic and it's a problem for many people. So as many people are following the news about COVID-19 on a daily basis, more and more bad actors are interested in messing up with them and messing up with our minds and manipulate people on social media. So one of the interesting narratives we were tracking was that the 5G technology is causing coronavirus. And this narrative went viral in a couple of countries. For example, in Britain, Netherlands, and in Belgium, when people read about this narrative, some of the people just went out and set to fire the 5G masts. This is how scary the narrative can be translated from online to real actions. It was a month ago, basically, when this was happening in those countries, and then Facebook and YouTube took the measures to fight this kind of narratives, and they tried to ban everything that was connecting 5G to spread of coronavirus. But despite this, these attempts of Facebook and YouTube, this narrative was going viral in Georgia too, and actually it's going viral today as well. So the first thing that we do, we always check if the narrative is getting traction, or if it's a narrative of a random guy who just wants to gain attention. And actually, it's one of the goals of bad actors to gain attention. Because if a narrative doesn't have a really big traction and it's not amplified, we really try to not cover it. We just, of course, follow and monitor it for ourselves. But it's a kind of, we call it amplification, oxygen of amplification, because if we write a research on that, then it will go viral and it might reach many people. So the first thing and the very important thing is to check how and if the narrative is getting traction. And the tool I wanted to introduce today and talk about is a crowd Tango. Basically, it's a Facebook tool that we are using a lot on a daily basis. So this tool helps us. This is how Tango looks like. And this tool helps us to monitor many pages and groups at the same time. And I'll be diving deep into right now. So the first thing we do, actually, we try to create the new lists here because it's just our working list. So basically, we go to the first thing, and for example, we want to create a new list of groups or pages that we want to monitor. It's a pretty quick and easy thing. We just, I don't know, name here, just new group, just for this. We save here name, and then we go and search the groups that we want to monitor. And the group that I was monitoring for this research was the Facebook group 5G Stop 5G Georgia. And actually, when I find out that this narrative was gaining traction in Georgia, many people were writing that there is a group, Stop 5G Georgia, that spread this narrative. And of course, I wanted to see how big is a group, how big is engagement with the posts that are spreading in this group and some other information. So, of course, I tried to monitor only this group for the first stage. So we just go here in this section, add groups, and basically write the name of the group that we want to monitor. In this case, it's Stop 5G Georgia. And here you can see the list of the groups that might have the similar name. In our case, it's this one, Stop 5G Georgia. You just add this group here, and it's already in your monitoring list. So here you can see that it's on the monitoring list. Actually, I created a new group yesterday to just ease our and actually save our time. So the second thing we do is one of the greatest things that Tango can do is that you can track back time and see how the narrative was starting to spread. This tool allows you to see and check everything that was happening in group last 30 minutes or last 60 minutes. You can also go back last 30 days, and it's really important to know the history of the narrative. So basically what I do is always go back time to see what was happening 30 days ago and how everything was studied. After I select here 30 days, here in this section, we can see, we can actually choose what kind of posts we want to monitor in these groups. And this section is divided into 5 categories. The overperforming posts, that this actually makes the list of the posts from top to down, which had the most attraction and which had the most interaction. And why do we need to see the most overperforming post? Because it allows us to see specifically what kind of narratives are more popular and what kind of are less popular, because then we can dive deeper into those kinds of narratives that are more popular. So if we go down here, for example, this photo, or for example, this post had the most engagement. And this tool is really cool because of many things. And one of the things is, for example, let's take a look at this post. It's in Georgian, but it says that coronavirus pandemic. So it calls on people to not make tests on coronavirus pandemic. And it's kind of, it has a sensational topic like sauce, and people do not take the tests. It's crazy because, of course, we all should be taking tests, and it scientifically has zero proof that coronavirus is spreading, 5G is spreading coronavirus. Actually, World Health Organization debunked this myth a couple of times, but still we can see here that people are saying that no, we should not take coronavirus tests because it might affect our organism, and then 5G will take over our organism and it will spread many other bad things too. So here, for example, this section and this graph represents how the score of this post has been changing over a week. And this tiny graph shows that it was first rocketing high and then it was going flat. So we can say that from the very beginning, this post was not so much popular, but then it went high. And actually, it went high 30.5 times. This is how we measure the popularity of the specific post. Then, if we go to the Facebook reactions, you can also see what kind of reactions is this post getting. And as we can see here, it's many likes and hearts. Basically, we can measure that people are not laughing about this post, but they are really engaged and they are interested in this post. And here we can see how the popularity, so how much more likes it gains through time. And this section shows the comment section, and then this is a share section. Actually, we can say that this post was gaining popularity, and it's like rocketing. Yeah, to just scroll down, these are some posts that are also overperforming in this group. And unfortunately, this group is all nowadays live. Even in this second, somebody is posting some conspiracy theories about 5G and coronavirus. And yes, the same logic goes with all these 5 sections. For example, I also check whether the underperforming narratives, because this also gives a sense of what kind of posts people are not interested in here. And as we might see, there are 0 engagement, 0 likes, like everything is close to 0 in these posts. Another interesting thing that lets us divide information and check what kind of posts are gaining more traction is this section. For example, when I was checking for the overperforming section, I had not divided information. So in the first overperforming section, all kinds of information was given together. Photos, videos, posts. But here, if we select one of the categories, we can also find out specifically what kind of tractions does the photos get. For example, we go here and see and compare the photos and engagement with the photos, and the same goes with statuses and videos. And also with the videos, it's a very interesting tool here because it divides videos in the following way. You can check all kinds of videos on the Facebook, then you can check non-live, live, YouTube videos. So basically, it's a brilliant tool to search specifically in the videos. And one of the things I wanted to show with a video, I will show it in one of my researches, because in this group I could not find the cross-posting thing. And what is cross-posting? So this is actually the research related to other topic, but I was checking one of the videos, and I wanted to check how the video is getting traction and how it is spread. And one of the things you can check here via Tango is if the video is cross-posted or not. The cross-posting is a very interesting tool. Basically, it means that, for example, one of the pages can upload the original video, and then it lets other page to reshare it. But on the other page, you do not see that it's reshared, but you see that the other page has uploaded it originally. So basically, it's one of the ways people want to show that the video is popular. For example, you have 3 pages and you want to show that something is very popular on your 3 pages. So basically, you allow pages to cross-post the video, and when you see the number of views on the 3 pages, it seems like the views are original. For example, you have 1 million views, and you see that all of the pages independently have 1 million views of the videos. This is kind of very tricky tool because it increases artificially the engagement. And here in the crowd tangle, for example, I was checking these videos and I saw that the views from the video from the original post was 5,000, for example, and then the views from shares was 1,500, and the cross-posting views was 13,000. So it's really, I mean, it's really good tool, but also it's kind of tricky because it might cause some artificial artificial engagements. Yes, so this is one of the things you can do here on dashboard. Another interesting thing that Tango can give you is the intelligence. And what does intelligence means? So this section, I have to write some 5G. So we write the name of the group that we want to monitor. Here I have this group already in my list. This intelligence page is really cool because you can measure the interactions which all of the posts were interacted by the members of these groups. You can also see how the likes and members of these groups were increasing time by time or day by day. So let's start, for example, with interactions. This graph here shows the interaction with the types of the posts. For example, in this specific group, Stop 5G Georgia, this section shows photos. For example, on April 19, from April 19 to April 25, the photos gained 31,000 interaction. Then here you can see the links, how many interactions the links we're getting, or statuses or Facebook videos. Like everything is divided here, and here you can also see the total interactions. Basically, this gives us huge information to see on the graph how and which kind of posts are really important in these groups. Here, for example, it's very easy tool with beautiful colors, with basic and easy statistics. It's just measuring everything here. You can also see, for example, date range. I'm now observing the last 3 months, but as this group was created in the beginning of the April, this doesn't show time back in February or December. But this also gives you a great opportunity to track back the information that was posting 6 months ago or 12 months ago. Another thing I do here immediately is count the post. Actually, how many videos were posted in these groups or how many statuses. Again, everything is very easy, quick, and with beautiful colors. For example, we can see how many photos, and one can draw a conclusion that this group is mostly oriented on spreading photos, links, statuses, and Facebook videos. So these are the numbers of these 4 categories spread in the group. And this tool also helps us to drive the specific conclusions, because one cannot analyze everything with only human intelligence, because it's too hard to count all this. And here you just use this tool and everything is counted without you. And another interesting and very important thing for us is page likes. And in this case, the members of the groups. For example, here the group started to add members. It's April 12. So the group was created on April 7, and on April 12, it started adding members. As you can see on the statistics, the number of members of this group was just skyrocketing. And we can see that the trend here is continuing. And it's scary. It means that more and more people are added to this group, and more people might read information, the conspiracy theory, not information, sorry, the conspiracy theory that 5G can cause coronavirus. Here you can see that already on May 2, actually a week ago, this group has 80,000 members. And from the very beginning, it had 9,000 members. So the numbers are increasing quite quickly. Yes, here also you can go with date range back in the time, and here also you can see by the information present by day, by week, or by months. And here are the detailed statistics that, for example, we can see that the group did not exist in February, the group did not exist in March, and from the April it started to add members, or some people were adding their friends. And here we can see, for example, this section shows the total number of members of the groups. Then this section shows the growth, like how was the group increasing, and this section shows the percentage of the growth. So this is really great tool to play with. This actually dashboards section and intelligence sections give us pretty quick and great information about the page we want to monitor or the group we want to monitor. And another thing, I'm running out of time, but I want you to see, this is actually the new section that CrowdTangle added 2 weeks ago, I think. So basically it's a CrowdTangle search. It means that it searches the specific words on the specific platforms. The platforms, for example, let's go with coronavirus. And the great thing is that you can search the words in many languages. And this dashboard shows you the searches of word coronavirus. And these posts are the most interacted posts with the word coronavirus. So for example, the Fox News post on Facebook is the most interacted post, which contains the word coronavirus. You can just scroll down and see what kind of posts are more engaged with. For example, here, this section shows the interaction with the word coronavirus from April 12 till May 9. And also here you can see, so in this period, there were posted 6 million posts on coronavirus in this short period. And the interaction with 6 million posts was this huge. And this graph, so this is a divided information. Basically, you can see, you can check what coronavirus engagement was on Facebook, on Instagram, Reddit, and Twitter. Then you can also divide the information through account type. For example, Facebook pages or public groups or verified profiles. And this again lets us to have access with more data than specific data. Also, again, the time frame that you can go back 12 months, and it's again great tool. It has also meme search. For example, if you enter the word coronavirus, you can just search in the memes if there were some memes made on coronavirus. Then again, post types, and we can also choose here what kind of post are we searching for. Is it a video or Facebook Live or statuses? And you can also select and filter by country. For example, this is a location of the post. For example, if somebody in Cuba, for example, was posting about coronavirus in the specific time frame. Then it has language here, and as I mentioned from the very beginning, you can search in many languages. Yes, then branded content and verified statuses and the list. But yeah, again, I do recommend you to play with this tool because it's really a huge opportunity for us to have access to more detailed and statistical information. And this tool is a great help on a daily basis for my researchers too. Thank you. I think that I was in time. I did it in time.
It was just in time. I have two short questions for you. You showed this beautiful instrument, how we can track and how we can monitor. But please tell me what we could do to prevent this type of thing. Is there a recipe? Because I can see the same thing happening in Moldova as well. We have a petition that was signed by thousands of people, between them some of the public figures. You know, how do you think what we can do in terms of media literacy, in terms of developing critical thinking to prevent this type of thing?
Yes, Artur, I think that it's a really important question because I wanted to touch base on that. So basically, when we see that something has this kind of huge interaction, then we write our research. And we believe that writing about it, talking about it, and meeting people and showing that, guys, for example, this topic is driven artificially. So it means that some bad actors want you to believe that this is happening. And here are statistics. Here are some official data. So we believe that, as I mentioned before, our mission is identify, explain, and expose this information. And we have the huge emphasis on explaining, because we believe that if you explain this to people, they know more about the problem, and they will think more about the problem. Because again, if we don't meet people, if we don't train them, if we don't have this kind of online engagement, and I want to take a chance and thank you for this amazing platform, because this platform is this kind of chance to talk to people and show that some processes are driven artificially. We believe in the FR Lab that this kind of talks, this kind of meetings do prevent some spread. Of course, we cannot prevent everything, because unfortunately we are 1 or 2 steps back with these bad actors, because bad actors that just spread some information, some disinformation, and they just go. And then we have to go and follow them. But these kind of things, this kind of researches are kind of prevention mechanism, because people read and then they will think about the other issues that maybe this is also driven artificially. So these kind of questions are following these kind of interactions.
Thank you, and thanks to all the media partners and the influencers that are talking about this in this period. Another question is related to your work at the DFR lab. A part of the 5G, what other disinformation narratives have you observed during this pandemic?
The first disinformation narrative, and actually it started to spread in early January, that the coronavirus was the virus that was made in the lab artificially. And frankly, you won't be surprised that the US and the US Army and military was blamed for spread of the virus. And actually, we were tracking back where this virus, where this narrative was coming from and what was the origin. And we found out that the trace was going back to Russian and pro-Kremlin fringe media. And actually, it's not new in Modern Moscow's tool, because Modern Moscow had brought this information to the, I don't know, level of art, because they are using the disinformation as one of the tools against a civilized world. And actually, these kind of things happened back in the USSR times, when the KGB planned the Operation Infection. They blamed the US for spreading AIDS. And they, on the first stage, they wrote this information in the fringe media, and then this information was amplified by other big media. And the same thing happened starting from January. Some pro-Kremlin fringe media that people do not even know their names, they just wrote that the coronavirus was made artificially in the US lab. And then this information was just spread, translated into many languages, and it reached, I don't know, Latin America, South Africa. This kind of huge information operation was conducted in terms of coronavirus as well. And this is just going viral in this second as well.
Thank you very much, Eto, for your time and for this presentation. And good luck with the online conference of DataFest later this month. Please say hello to all our friends, and hopefully I see you live very soon in Moldova or in Georgia.
See you soon. Thanks for having me. And looking forward to DataFest. It will be amazing.